Hi, everyone, and welcome to the CTO Lounge, a space for open conversations about leadership, technology, and the people behind great products, where we interview CTOs from around the globe to explore insights and challenges driving technology and innovation today. I'm Gianfranco Papa, and I am CTO and co founder at Somnio Software. I'm Google developer expert for Dart and Flutter, but today I'm joined with Victor Carreras, who is CTO at
Oh,
Gemini Spain. Okay.
thank you all for inviting me. First of all, I'm CTO and mobile architect in Capgemini Spain, but also I contribute to many Google communities. If you don't know me, I'm contributing, including Google Summer of Code, Flutter Data is a official Flutter community recognized by Google. And other GDGs communities in Spain. So it's a pleasure to be with you and in this first episode, and I hope many of them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't mention, but this, of course, is the first episode of the series. We're going to have like a lot of episodes meeting CTOs from around the globe. And yeah, this is really interesting that you also mentioned that you take part of communities, the Google communities. So yeah, my first questions to deep dive more into your role and who you are. I wanted to ask you, what was the journey behind becoming CTO in Capgemini Spain, and what were the different roles that needed in order to be at this point, right?
Well, I started as architect, mobile architect in Capgemini. I spent like couple years learning a lot about the leading teams, different cultures, because I was working in an international project, but it's not exactly the same. Each team is completely different, and also in Europe, it's the philosophy is completely different inside of Europe and UK, for example. And it was a really challenge for me to learn um, more soft skills to be a good leader, and not only technically, because at the end is more human leader. But after that, um, the company makes me a proposal to be CTO, and I accepted. But to be honest, I don't know if it was exactly what I thought before. The before and the after. It was quite different, but it's a really good experience.
And I think like many people think that being a CTO is only like selecting cool technology and working with technology, but I mean there are different challenges that you need to face. Also, the fact that where you work, which kind of product are you building? If you work in a company like Capgemini that is like more providing services, so what was the things that you realized that were going to be necessary as part of your role, leading people, selecting technology, trying to like bring the team with their skills in order to uh, yeah, comply with the mission of the company, right?
Yeah. Also, when I started, I think I always wanted to be around technical stuffs, but when more uh, pure management of people and things like that was around, and I didn't want, those part were the ugliest part. But what surprised me most was that being a CTO is not just about technology. It's about balancing three major responsibilities. For me, a CTO have to divide in three major responsibilities: leading a technical community. Um, that means you have to be up, completely updated of technologies, the art state of different languages, and but not only you cannot only focus it on that part and to leave the rest of them, because the second one is support pre-sales in a technical perspective. Sometimes the customers calling you saying, I need this, and I am asking you only about this. But many of them, they know what they want to get or what is the goal, but not the process, and sometimes they don't care, and you have to support them, taking the best decisions, understanding what they want to do, what are their roles, and the capabilities. And after that, there is something else. I expected to spend most of my time coding or selecting frameworks, but instead I found myself creating strategies to minimize delivery risks, analyzing multiple projects, and ensuring technical excellence across the organization. And the final pillar for me is the project delivery, because if you can get a great delivery, or you can get a great technology people, a great community, and a great pre-sales. But if you want next year, if you want to get a new contract with the same as a maintenance, you need them.
Right. So yeah, I think that this is something that I really emphasize, but because I mean, in every team, you need to balance like the quality of what we are doing in terms of the technical stuff, but also the delivery, meaning that you need to go also deliver faster results. So this is a like great discussion between like quality and velocity, that we need to be at that line where we are not going like we can go with confidence, but at the same time we can go fast, and this is like a great balance that we need to maintain in our teams.
Yes, and I feel like all of them, those three pillars, are related. I mean, you cannot get a great technical community if you don't have a great delivery, because the people leave the company as soon as possible, and you will not keep the best team.
Yeah.
That means next year, pre-sales will not great. I mean, this is,
Yeah, it's a constant cycle. Yeah, and I think that there are a lot of challenges in the position. I wanted to ask you also, like, if there is any technologies that you especially are specializing more nowadays with your team, or what are the different technologies that is part of your focus? Because of course, like, there are many technologies for every problem that we can tackle, but yeah, we might have like a preferred tech stack of choice, right?
Yeah, mobile development is evolving toward convergence and intelligence. But native technologies like Swift and Kotlin will remain essential for performance, critical applications, while frameworks like Flutter are becoming the standard for cross-platform development. Thanks to their near native performance and unified code base, it's a really good decision. But the future will bring AI-driven tools that automate UI generation or testing and accessibility compliance. So allowing, maybe I think the developers will be able to focus on business logic and user experience rather than the repetitive task. But I think now there are multiple technologies that we have on the table, and how to decide them. It's
It's
a
a
great.
difficult task, right? It really depends on what we are trying to solve. But if we for example talk about mobile in general, I think that yeah, you mentioned Flutter, React Native, iOS, Android. I mean, what's the process behind your team on maybe in the pre-sales part of selling the project to a client, to selecting the technology behind? Because of course it's going to alter the whole life cycle of the project and the timeline. So what's the decision making behind selecting um, which technology are going to work, right?
I apply three principles: performance and hardware access. If the app needs deep integration, native is mandatory. This is something that I saw. For example, we did a project, but we were maintaining it because the project was started by other previous company, and it was created in Flutter, but a lot of connections was made in native. But I mean, a lot, probably more native code was developed than Flutter code.
Right.
And it was a big challenge for us to make this work. So performance and hardware access is the top one. If the apps needs deep integration, native is mandatory, and we have to go there. Time to market at budget is the second pillar principle. For MVPs or projects requiring rapid delivery, or sometimes because they don't have other stack. I mean, because you have to know if the company has team expertise, maintenance, other code bases. This is the third principle, because if the team expertise and the maintenance of the company is around a technology, it's probably better to continue focusing there. Not always, because always there is angles in this story, but probably forcing a technology that the team doesn't master is a risk, and the decision is strategic. Balancing cost, scalability, a lot of variables has to be on the table
Of
before
course.
to say something. But three principles for me, it's a good starting point.
Of course, yeah, it's not an easy task. I mean, there are a lot of factors that can take you selecting cross-platform, native, and it's a difficult, decision making behind the scene. But yeah, I mean, I think that also the inherited project is something that you need to know where you are putting your effort, because maybe it's difficult to say to a client you need to start over again. I mean, you need to go with really good reasons for doing that, because there is a progress being made. So I think that yeah, it's a difficult choice. But regarding like the frameworks, how do you see those frameworks evolving themselves? For example, whether it's native or cross-platform, it could be Flutter or React Native. We have like in the world of native Swift UI and Compose that are getting up to date with the level of what was Flutter and React Native a couple of years ago, in the sense that they are going like declarative. So what do you see like is happening in the mobile space in terms of how the frameworks are evolving, right?
Yeah, but don't you feel like the technology, mobile technology, is evolving in a similar way? I mean,
Of course, yeah.
I feel like
This is good because we are kind of like standardizing the way we should work as mobile developers with the technology. It was a couple of years ago. It wasn't really a good developer experience to have, for example, in native. You work mainly on an imperative way, versus like Flutter or React Native that were incorporating more and more declarative and widgets and so on. So yeah, I think that that's something good for the industry. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the issues for other technologies can be on the table at this point. For example, yesterday I was in Google Summer of Code event that I was talking about the mobile cybersecurity, how to develop mobile apps in a secure way, and I was talking about a lot of npm issues, independencies, because malware can be published in a way for dependencies that nobody knows where is the code base, because the source code is not published. And I feel like in Flutter could happen, in Swift could happen. So issues, I mean, I think the technology is closer each time, and the tricky situations for one technology can be applied in the rest.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, you are solving like the same problems. So I think that it is a challenge to have a team that knows and master like native cross-platform, but at the same time, I feel like there are the same problems. I mean, you need to go over state management, architecture, CI/CD testing. All of those topics are more cross technology, and this is something that at least on our experience, we tend to like um, have the team to learn those concepts that are like applicable for every technology. But yeah, I think that something that might also be crucial when we start on a project with a client is the type of company that is behind that project, right? Because it's not the same to work with a startup that is living day to day with funding than a big corporation that is going to build a really big product from the beginning and is going to be production ready from day one, right? So what can you tell me about these type of situations? How do you handle? Is something that is impacting on the team, on the skills of the teams, or also on the technology side? How do you feel about this?
The point is, in Capgemini, what I'm seeing is only big companies. So I really like to work in a big company, because big company has big clients, and you can work in really interesting projects with technology that you feel like, wow, this is something complex, but at the end it's a good challenge. It's a good point for if you want to have a big challenge in your career, is something great.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. I mean, um, both sides of the problem are they have challenges, and you could argue that is yeah. I think at the end of the day, the people that is working in this project is it's good that they know how to actually engage with this type of projects because it's different. And yeah, for example, as you mentioned, like in a big corporation, you might face having a big project that maybe you require more uh, steps in order to do something because the product is so big, right? But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Also, for example, it's a good challenge. Sometimes when I started as CTO, I started to hear about not to die in fame, and it's a good point, because sometimes the challenges are really big, and
right.
everybody's human, so you have to raise your hand when you need help and you need support for someone else, or etc. So it's something it's something great that I usually see in the most people that I appreciate. Like, wow, this guy is the best in something, in some technology, or he his or her invent was exceptional in the field of computing. and you talk with them, and they are, the most regular guy with the most lower expectative that you could think, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I think like just to wrap up this part um, of the technology part, I think that one of the things that is kind of like evolving in the mobile space that we are seeing more and more is AI, and in particular generative UI. How this is like merging in our mobile experiences. Of course, there's a lot of space to work in this area, but what is your opinion on how this is evolving? What are the opportunities that we can have as CTOs on or as developers working on this?
there is no a simple answer. We have to consider things like to compliance with GDPR. So that means we cannot just share our screens, because, for example, if I started now sharing my screen, opening emails, you could say, "Hey, this is not, this is a bad, decision for me, because I could public information of that is private for company." Um, this is something that we have to keep this when we start a project and we started to use, because maybe we are creating an app for medical centers or for insurance, sharing our completely code. Also, for example, a backend team. I'm not saying because in mobile team we are working in front, but there is secrets, there is tokens, a lot of things that we have to keep this in mind, and we have to know if our tool just to create documentation, or maybe because we want to start to coding in a vibe coding or AI driven. Um, so we have to keep this in mind. The information that we are putting in a prompt, we
Of
have to keep this in mind in a security way and in a leak of information way.
Yeah,
Uh, but this is the worst part, because the rest of the part is a good point. So I don't want to say the AI is bad or is so, because we use it and we use it a lot. Also, internally and publicly, I think AI it's awesome, and we have, the biggest opportunities lie in leveraging AI to boost productivity and improve the KPIs, but only if we learn to use it correctly. This means maximizing determinism in AI outputs, minimizing hallucinations or inaccuracies.
right.
So I am seeing this because I'm seeing people saying like, "Hey, the AI is not the future. I use it, but I waste more time correcting the AI." Probably because, but maybe the first day when you use a bicycle, you could say, "If I am walking, I can be faster." Probably first day, but in 1 year, you will be faster with your bike than if you are walking by your, with your foot. Um, so that's the point. It's really important to know how the AI works, not because we want to create more AIs. We want to understand how AI thinks or take decisions before to give the context properly to be really helpful. And I think the AI is really helpful for us, a tool for developers for ugly stuffs like create documentation, or just for me, for example, select the names of the commits. The AI is better than me long term.
Right. Yeah,
So
I was discussing this the other day with a teammate, and to the analogy of the bicycle, I think that we were thinking about, for example, washing your clothes, right? If you for example, you do it manually, it's going to take you longer than putting everything into the wash machine. That is going to facilitate like the work. But then if you use the wash machine, there might be some clothes that are continue still dirty, but you can wash it manually. So this is like more the analogy of like putting everything in using AI for producing the whole code base that you want to get, but then you need to tweak the things that the wash machine is not getting right. So at least right now, because we can continue improving the wash machine, of course. But yeah, you still go. It's difficult to go over again, to go back again to how we used to wash clothes, right? Because we already have the machine. So this is like how it feels working with AI. That you need to take advantage of that, but at the same time you need to take some consideration because it might not get the best results that you can do it manually. But yeah, I think that you mentioned. I mean, we can divide the discussion between, for example, the products that we might build with AI, like with AI features, and how users are experiencing those new experiences, versus like how developers are taking advantage of this technology in order to produce like code base, right? Um,
Yeah.
so what's that balance in your experience? What are the tools or frameworks or IDEs that you're using internally in your team to speed up the whole process with AI?
To be honest, all of them, because now there is a race to
Right.
create the best product. But to be honest, there is not. I mean, it depends that you want to. Depends what are your goals.
Right.
You should use one or another. Um, I feel like Google in this right now in this moment um, is um, is improving a lot. Its AI. Gemini is getting faster and smarter, and it's true. But Clouder and OpenAI was in a better position. Uh, um,
Yeah, just for the audience, we are recording this like December the 10th. So because maybe when we upload this video, it's going to change, right? It changed.
Exactly. Maybe the next month we have to record it again.
Yeah.
Uh, but in any case, I think all of them. Also, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about Firebase Studio in a Google community here in Spain, and the people was asking why Google is selecting Firebase Studio at the same time is developing the new tool for anti-gravity.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, yeah. I mean, it's a different use case, but I understand the question.
yes, that's the point, because there is not a single answer for what is the best. I mean, depending if you want to create pictures, the banana nano banana is it's something great if you have a pro version, because the pictures can be done in a best way than other competitors, but maybe you need to provide more context, and also you have to consider the GDPR, and you cannot provide information, and you need something unique, maybe with Copilot between different companies and agreement inside. Maybe you can create something more secure. I'm not saying secure, but I'm saying more like without leaks and agreement, the information will not be used to by the AI in a ugly way. So that's my point of view. You have you have to, as CTO, you have to be
Open
sure.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that AI is of course something that is changing how we work. There are different opportunities. If we, for example, talk about what is possible with AI nowadays, what do you feel are the big challenges that we can solve for the users instead of like developers going faster and improving their velocity? What are the different experiences that are possible nowadays with the help of AI, such as Gemini, the different LLMs that are available?
I mean, I think AI will amplify the strategic decisions making by providing predictive insights on technology trends and resolution allocation. However, it will likely take over repetitive tasks like code generation, regression testing, or even parts of my infrastructure management. But however, in my point of view, leadership, vision, and cultural alignment will remain uniquely human. I mean, AI will, in my point of view, will not replace us. It arrives to be as a tool for us, not a replace for us.
Okay, and how do you feel about, because nowadays like starting in a career path in IT,
Mhm.
it might be confusing because there's a lot available with AI. You can go and create a project from scratch in seconds, and you're going to have a lot of things available, and it can be messy and confusing in a way because you are not forced to learn a lot of things that were necessary, like let's say 5 years ago, right? So how do you feel this is changing also the way new developers are being are learning or are being incorporated into the market, right?
Well, for me, um, I think I have, you know, opposite feelings about this because
Yeah.
if I want, if I want to be transparent about this, I really prefer. I really prefer the official documentation before AI, before everything. And I really care how the people is learning, but not only computing and the software development. I am concerning the doctors or whatever, because AI is a really great tool if you want to clarify something that you just read and you have really doubts, and it's better, to get information about something. But actually, to use it as a single way to learn something is tricky. In software development, we have, um, I think in software development we have a best point of view because um, the information is really big. But think like Kate Lovett issue. How many AIs are teaching in a grown way? It's better than nothing, and I'm sure it's better than nothing. But they are learning, reading, and understanding the official documentation. So I think the official documentation at this moment will not be replaced by AI, but could be as a second option to clarify things. But I have concerns about the people just want to. I have an exam, I need to pass it, give me the goals with no effort, the night before and go to the exam. So I have concerns like the people learn before learn something before
Relying
the.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, relying so much on AI, at the end of the day, like maybe you need to face a problem like and solve it from your perspective as an engineer, but but yeah, this line is continue to be like less the way AI is evolving as well. So yeah, my concerns are also like in the way, yeah, new developers are learning how to code, because it's clearly been like different from before, and it's not as needed as part of our daily day
Yeah.
to day,
My,
right?
my greatest lessons came from my mistakes or my big mistakes, And if
Right.
AI make me life, easier, I will not have big mistakes for, for big learnings.
Of course. Okay, so now about regarding like future advice and looking forward, we're kind of like heading to the end of this first episode. But I wanted to ask you like, what are some things that you look if you look back 5 years from today, you wish you knew, you wish, for example, your team has asked it more often, but didn't. So, what are the things that you can reflect from the past 5 years?
Um, I wish I had asked more often what's slowing you down. No, what is slowing you down? Technical draft, unclear requirements, lack of tools, because a lot of many times, there is delaying in a delivery of a project,
Right.
could be resolved with this more often question: what is slowing you down?
And for example, yeah, I agree. And if you look forward for future years, what are some suggestions, or how do you feel it's going to continue changing the way we create different products?
Yeah, maybe being more supported by the team. As I started as CTO, I thought, by my role, I had to create an umbrella for the team, supporting them. But sometimes that weight can be heavier than you expected. So sometimes your team has to see you, has to see your weakness, has to see, because we are a team. And that has to be probably if I look back 5 years to today, um, I think that should say to me more times, like, don't worry if you have to be supported by your team.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, at the end of the day, you are a team, and yeah, everyone needs to also learn how to, yeah, work as a team, and I think that relying on the other one could be really helpful.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, we spoke a lot about technology, and we are heading to the end of the episode. I wanted to ask you, like, on a different topic, if you weren't a CTO today, what was something that you would pursue in your life? Maybe a hobby or a dream that you had.
Um, I could be a researcher because I really love I really love studying. I like it. I mean, probably if you want to be a good technical guy, probably this is added for everybody
Yeah, so I
because the technology is changing so fast and you have to be learning each day. Open the unlock the phone and read the news about the what to expect today in a technical way.
So you would be working in a university such as the Big Bang Theory guys, right?
Yes, but I spent my university time when I was studying the grade of computer science, loving Big Bang Theory. I mean, also, I'm currently pursuing advanced studies with the goal of earning a PhD someday. So I'm not saying I will not be that in the future.
That's awesome. Okay, so I mean, I think that that's it for the first episode. Thank you, Victor, to be our first guest. I don't know if you want to also say something else to the audience.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a really pleasure, really.
Great. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the first episode. Thanks, everyone that is going to see the first episode of this series of interviewing CTOs, the CTO Lounge. And yeah, we'll see you in a next episode with another great conversation with another CTO. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.